Okay, hello everyone. I am here with,
Beck.
and we were given a tote of baseball and football cards from Beck's grandparents, Mimi and Papa, and we don't know what's in here. I opened it like this, and I saw some things and I said, you know what we got to do? We got to make a video out of this. So there is all sorts of baseball, football cards. We have no idea what we are going to find in this tote, but we're going to open it up. This thing has been sitting in the grandparents' attic for the last, for the last, I think my, brother-in-law is, if I'm not mistaken, he's got to be like 38 or 39 years old. So these are his cards from his kids. He might even be 39. So right off the top, one of the funniest things you're going to see, and I have no idea how much any of this stuff is worth, but if these are my brother-in-law's cards, I'm going to laugh at him because these are New Kids on the Block trading cards. Look at this one. Very special. This guy, I have no idea which guy this is. This is three more new. This is Donnie. Oh boy. But anyways, so here's some of these. These are kind of hilarious. New Kids on the Block trading cards. So we'll put those over here. But let's see. There's a thing here. I don't know what this is. Bubblicious wrappers in this thing, but everyone's favorite collection, if you get the sarcasm, I have no idea why there's bubblicious bubbles in here, but here is some, it also looks like pieces. These look like Topps 1990 cards. Here's a Ken Griffey Jr. Donruss Diamond Kings. And then, of course, a bunch of commons. This set is virtually, let's see, what do we find over here? There's a Jose Nunez. What else do we find over here? Tim Wallach. Obviously, Donruss 90, one of the, widely considered one of the not so popular sets, because it was so popular. Mookie Wilson, that was always one of my favorite cards. I had a ton of these cards. Everyone and their neighbor had a ton of these cards. So let's see what else is in here. I think we have, well, let's see. Look at, here is some old penny sleeves. Here's some packs. These are these even opened? This is an unopened pack of, oh wait, no, it is open. It's down here. Hold on. So this is 1991 Upper Deck collector. Is this collector's choice? Yes. 1991. This is Upper Deck. Let's see what's in here. It's amazing that he kept this, but as you can see, there's a National League hollow sticker. You've got Eric Snow, Lenny Harris. Let's see. Hold on. I got to get reorganized here. You've got Ron Oyster, Mackie Sasser, Gardner, Jose Arusalek, Frank DePino, Eric Gunderson, Charlie Liebrant, Jeffrey Leonard, Kyle Abbott, one of my favorite pitchers growing up. Kyle Abbott actually pitched. He only had one hand. Jeff Montgomery. So that, a bunch of comments over here, but some Upper Decks, and let's see, this one is Collector's Choice Upper Deck 1989, the inaugural set. So let's see, if there's a Ken Griffey Jr. in here, I'm going to freak out. Jim Pekavotis, Curtis Wilkerson, Dennis Rasmussen, Brian Harvey. There's always a sticker in Upper Deck Beck. Upper Deck Beck, Jack Clark, Danny Darwin, Daryl Boston, another Daryl Boston. Here's a Red Sox and a Dodgers sticker. Oh my Lord, this is bringing back some memories for me. John Costello, David Otto, Mike Pagulario, Mark Langston, Gene Nelson, and Jeff Hamilton. So some more commons there. Boy, I thought for a second there with an 89 upper deck. What did you find here, Beck? Let's see. These are Fleer Brewers top 10s. These are Fleer 91. Mark Davis, Yelding, Shelby, Ozzie Guillen, Pat Combs, Chuck Finley, my favorite pitcher of all time. Pitched for the Angels for years and went on to the Indians. Calvin Schiraldi, Matt Hall, Wes Gardner, Alan Anderson, Jim Gantner, Joe Ruslak. We have a lot of stuff to go through, so I'm just going to fly through some of these. Jeff Brantley. So there is some 91 Fleer. Hold on, Beck. We got more over here. Again, we'll go. I'm just going to flip through these real fast. Let's see. Eric Snow, Mark Portugal, Andy Hawkins, Kurt Young, Dave Val. Some of these cards have been sitting in here. There's another Tim Wallach. Let's see. We've got Lance McCullers. Man, these cards are really sticky. Jack Armstrong. I think there's, Mel Rojas. Ken Williams. You know, these are in pretty good condition. Rafael Belliard. A lot of commons. Team logo sticker is as always the case with Fleer. We'll go like this so you guys can see what we're laying down.
Hockey.
Oh, you found some hockey cards. Hold on. So let's see. This is a Chicago Blackhawks. Wow, this is a what year? Oh, look at this. These must be some nice cards, because these are all in the little plastic case that when you were a kid and you had your cards and you thought you had some nice ones. This is a Jeremy Roenick. I don't know much about hockey cards, but let's see. This is a 1990 Jeremy Roenick. Looks like a third-year card from Pro Set. So let's see. Here's a Barry Larkin 90 score. Scott Scudder. It looks like my brother-in-law must have liked the 90 Reds. If I'm not mistaken, the Reds actually won the World Series that year. So the Barry Larkin, let's see. This is like a fifth-year Barry Larkin card. Hall of Famer. Let's see. Who else we got? We got Ron Oster, Chris Sabo, Mariano Duncan, Mark Rossler. So this is back when they had like the whole team. There's Ken Griffey Sr., Ronaldo Runes, Paul O'Neill. Is this a rookie card, Paul O'Neill? No, not even close. Paul O'Neill. Eric Davis, Norm Charlton. Boy, they did have a good team, didn't they? Joel Youngblood, John Franco. Let's see. Tom Browning, Tim Leary. So this would have been your 1990 World Series. I'm pretty sure they won it in 1990. Herm Willingham, Rob Dibble. Man, they did have kind of a stacked team, didn't they? Chris Hammond. Beck, do these cards look anything like the cards that you're used to seeing today? So let's go ahead and put these back in here, because it looks like these were there's a little team set that he had. We have a ton of stuff to go through. All right, here's more. All right, here. Ooh, look at Ricky Henderson. This is 1991 upper deck. Greg Vaughn. A lot of people back in the day thought Greg Vaughn was going to be this huge deal. Greg Blosser. There's a Jose Canseco. This is a 1989. Oh, and here we go. What the heck? This is a Roger Clemens. What year? 1988 Roger Clemens Fleer. So kind of a fun little card there. There's the Jose Canseco 89. Greg Blosser. I have no idea why he had the Greg Blosser going. Watch out for the camera, Beck. So then there's these. Hold on, there's
more sleeved up cards.
Oh, you got more sleeved up cards. Here's a Ramon Martinez. This is, I think, a third-year Fleer 91. Ben McDonald. There's a Kirby Puckett. Here's a Wade Boggs. None of these cards. These are all Hall of Famers.
Hockey.
Here's
a puzzle
there's
piece.
Another puzzle piece. Dean Kennedy, Rich Scooter. Yeah, some hockey cards. Let's see who else we got here. Here's a Bo Jackson, 1990 Diamond Kings. Greg Olson. Doug Drabeck, Kevin Trappini, Kevin Mitchell, Roberto Alomar, Sandy Alomar Jr. rookie card, Ramon Martinez. I don't think this is a rookie card. Yeah, no. Here's Dr. Dirt and Mr. Clean, Lenny Dykstra and Dale Murphy. That's kind of a fun card from 1990 Leaf. So anyways, we'll put those over here. And let's see, we won't go through all of these. Here's some football cards. Boy, he liked collecting a bunch of different things, didn't he? Eric Sievers, Harris Barton. Let's see who else. This card's all beat up. Greg Montgomery.
Raiders, that's our team.
Yeah, but that's a kicker. Reggie Rutland. We do love the Raiders, though. Hassan Jones. Randall Cunningham. There's a 50-year. There's a little Randall Cunningham from, what year is this? I'm not, this
card
is
was
year.
Getting smashed.
That's Marty McSorley.
Getting
Wow.
smashed
Yeah,
on
no,
the
but that's a,
bottom.
oh, is it smashed? Oh, well, it was just at the bottom. It actually looks like it's in okay
I
condition.
kind of felt the.
Let's see, this is 1990 Topps football. They probably made a ton of, oh, wait, that's some, so anyways, let's see, John Rupert, Boomer, Kyle Clifton, Kevin Green, Bruce Matthews, Joe Montana, Topps All-Pro, 1990, and to Jim Kelly, back-to-back, Jim Kelly, and the Joe Montana. By the way, all these cards are in fairly decent condition. Dean Evanson, here we go, some more hockey. I am not going to know any hockey stuff.
Goldie.
John Casey, Tom Fergus, but I know some names, Paul Coffey. My brother was big into
Another
hockey,
NHL.
and here's some more. I'm not going to go through all these. We'll go through all these later, but a ton of Donruss 90. We have a ton of stuff to go through, so we'll go pretty quick. Here's some 89 Topps that was sitting in there. So all sorts of different things in this little set. Here's a little bag that Beck found. There's a wrapper from. All right, so let's see. Here's a Barry Bonds. I'm pretty sure this is 91. 40 years of baseball. Yeah, here's your 90 Barry Bonds. Here's a picture of. This is interesting. Here's a picture of the Batmobile. So all of our brother-in-law's collectibles are there. Here are, let's see, 1991 starting lineup, Jose Canseco and Bo Jackson. Kind of fun cards to find. And then we've got, let's see what's in here. There's even, well, what are these? These are interesting. Hold on. So it looks like there's another pack of baseball cards in here, but here are, I have no idea what these are. Bo Jackson.
Oh,
A coin. Oh, these are the starting lineup coins. So there's a Jose Canseco and Bo Jackson coin. So there's the coins that go with the cards. That's fun. And then, of course, we've got some more Topps 91. We'll go through these a little later. And then, let's see. Now, what is up? Here is, this is fun. Here's a Chicago Bulls. It looks like Chicago Bulls. And this actually is a really neat thing. Here we go. Cincinnati. I don't know if the camera is going to be able to capture this, but this is a pennant for the Cincinnati Reds, World Champion 1976. In fairly decent condition. It was a little yellow, but from 1976, as you can see, the corners are pretty good. This thing, it's got all, look at this, it's got all the names of the people. It's got Griffey, it's got Flynn, it's got Morgan. Let's see, who else does it have on here? I mean, there is just a Pete Rose is on here. This, we'll put this, let's see, you know what we ought to do? We're going to go ahead and put this right back here, just so you guys can check that out.
These cards
I'm knocking down some cards.
These cards were actually bent up. These cards are actually like
bent up cards. That's what happens when they get old. If you don't take care of them, you got to take care of them. You got to put them in your penny sleeve. So here is. This might be so far the neatest find we've got. It's really rolled up. I'm trying to set it up for you guys. I don't know if it's going to work. I think it's going to keep falling. But there we go. Let me see if I can make this work with some Donruss 90. There we go. Okay, now for the big thing that I think is going to be
vinyl?
really interesting. Here is a binder. This might be, let's see, it says, I won't show you the name because I don't know if he wants his name out. But if this is...
Wait, what are these cards?
These are tough. Okay, so here, I'm going to pick this camera up so you guys can see. This looks to me like it is a set of Topps 1990. I had a ton of these cards myself. It looks like he has organized them
Angels.
Looks like he has organized them in team order, not numerical order. But you've got the Angels, you've got the Astros. All these cards are in actually really good condition. I mean, this might be, who knows, I don't know, this might be a complete set. Let's see.
That card only page only
John
had a
Morris.
couple
I mean, look at this. If we just kind of flip through, here's some Dodgers. There's Oral Hershiser. Hold on, be careful with these because these can break, especially when they're this old. Because these have been sitting here probably since 1990. And see, back in the day, look at this weird, it's like a kind of a weird 3D binder thing. Here's some Expos. I mean, there's probably, you know, a few little gems in here, but obviously with 1990, I have no idea what this is. This is a storybook, Heirlooms, Timeless Clothing for Children. This is probably from Grandma. And then, but let's see. I mean, here's some, I mean, you probably got, let's see if there's a Frank Thomas in here. I mean, you would have had an Indians that would have been, let's see, Albert Bell. Did he have any Albert Bells? He probably would have saved, he would have been an Indians fan because he grew up in Ohio. So that might be why you don't see Albert Bell. So I don't think this is a complete set, but a lot of, there's the Barry Bonds.
That's kind of bad.
It's not bad. It's just they've been sitting in the thing for so long. These are actually in pretty good condition for how long they've been sitting. But yeah, I mean, you've got, there's a the old turn back the clock. So anyways, let's see, is there anything back here? This looks to be all Topps 1990. Let's see, so we'll flip this back. Kind of a neat find. Talk about this, exactly what I did when I was a kid. I would organize all my cards in lots of different ways. You could do it by team order. You could do it by, hold on, I don't want to wreck any of these. You could do it by, I very quickly went to numerical order just for the ease of going. You know, they used to give you checklists and all of that. And so we'll put this over here. Let's see what else is in here. Here's a, well, hold on. Well, that's a Rolling Stone magazine. I don't know what the date is, but that's with the Beastie Boys. I love that. Here's a Boomer Esiason, 1990. I'm going to go ahead and get the camera set back up and set it down, just so we can kind of continue on our little hunt. And look at how old these sleeves are. Let's see, what are these cards right here? You've got, Super Bowl. Too bad this card's all beat up. But Super Bowl, Fleer 1990, Jerry Rice and Joe Montana. Here's another Boomer Esiason, score 91. Reggie Langhorne. All right, so you pulled out this box, Beck. Let's see. So there's a box. It just says pasteurized process American cheese. That's Velveeta. Look at this. He was. Oh, this looks like we're gonna have a lot of different football cards in here. Let's see. Oh yeah, these are. Now, he grew up in a Browns family, so let's see. These.
I see Browns right there.
Hold on, this is 1988. Here's some starting lineup. This is it. Bob Golick. Everyone knows who Bob Golick is. And then, let's see, here's a starting lineup. Webster Slaughter. I'd like to say that's a black parallel card, but it's not. Kevin Mack. He must have liked collecting. Here's another Kevin Mack. Bernie Kosar starting lineup. And then we've got, there are probably Lee Williams. Anthony Munoz on the Bengals. Let's see. Hold on, I gotta get reorganized here. There's a ton of cards.
This whole place is filled.
It's totally filled. We're running out of room to Steve Puller. I don't think that was the starting quarterback. Here's some more tops. Brown. Mark Wilson, Raiders QB. Ray Donaldson. This card is beat up, but how old is this card? 1978 Dave Logan. Browns wide receiver. This card is really beat up, but 1978 Dave Logan Topps card. Here we go. Here's Keith Jackson. You guys all know him from ESPN fame. Let's see, what year are these? These are 1989. It looks like Rick Donnelly, Munchak, Steve Case, Ratham. There is so much stuff we're gonna have to go through here, Beck. 1988 Boomer Esiason, Wade Wilson, Vikings passing leader in 1988. Jerome Brown. Let's see. Steve DeBerg, I remember him. What's this tiny little card? Where'd you find this?
I found it just now.
There's a tiny little Lenny Dykstra mini card. I can't even get this. There you go. This thing is so small. It's only about 1.5 inches. What in the heck is this thing?
I found it sitting.
It's a little beat up, but that is a Lenny Dykstra. We got so. This is amazing, Beck. This is like this is your uncle's, like childhood. There's a Chris Spielman rookie card. Is this really a rookie card? Chris Spielman rookie card. Look at that, and this is in good condition too. Here's a Howie Long. Holy smokes! Here's a Howie Long. I'm gonna have to look that card up too. My Lord. Let's put some of these up here. Some of these cards are kind of, we're talking about some Hall of Famers here. Ron Johnson, Al Toon. I like football. Here's a Herschel Walker. We're going to have to look some of these up. Roger Craig. These are, here we go. Here's, this is going to be 1988. Albert Bentley. What else we got in here? Jerry Rice, 1,000-Yard Club, 1988. There are a lot of kind of neat. Gerald Riggs. We're going to have to look up these sets. I don't know much about these. You guys feel free to comment if you see any of these cards and say, because I never collected football cards growing up. I still really don't. But I watch football a lot, and I know these names. I just don't know if this set's worth a lot. I'm assuming from the 80s it's probably not. But kind of fun cards, and you guys have no idea. We have a ton of these in here.
I think we should just...
Well, hold on. I'm just going to go through. I'm not going to go through all of these, but look. We have cards from. We're going back to 1987. Here's a Terry Bradshaw. This thing is in like perfect condition. Here's a Terry Bradshaw. This is a I think it's a 1984 Terry Bradshaw in fantastic condition. I think the football cards are probably the bigger find here. These are, here's a Marcus Allen running back. Look at this. There's a Lawrence Taylor. This is 1987 actually. So that's 1987. There's a Marcus Allen. Lawrence Taylor. My Lord. Lawrence continued his onslaught against opposing forces in 6 consecutive seasons. So here's there's a Lawrence Taylor. Look at all this.
Look at that.
I haven't even gone through these. There's so many more I could probably go through. Morgan Stanley. Look at these cards. Hold on. I'm going to go like this. I'm running out of space to keep track of all these cards. Stanley Morgan. I'm going to have to share this video with my brother-in-law. Here's George Rogers. 1,000-yard rushings. Some of these. There's a Jerry Rice All-Pro. Joe Montana record breaker. Some of these cards, I mean,
Wow.
I mean, wow. That's a good way to put it. Phil Simms record breaker. I mean, we're talking just Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer here. Not to mention, I mean, just so many neat cards. Nate Moore. Here's a Joe Green from, what year is this? I mean, they're not even printing the year on these. But I mean, I'm assuming. I mean, this is pretty. That might be that card's pretty old. I mean, I'm gonna have to look these up. We're gonna have to. We're going into Memorial Day weekend or Labor Day weekend, so. Here, I mean, here's the Chargers. I mean, I know this is a kicker, but this is a 87. I mean, he collected a lot of cards in 87. Look at Anderson, a defender. Look at, these are neat, just neat cards. Just neat cards. These are 19. They don't even have the date printed on them. Yep, these are 1987. Let's see, Beck. So what do you think? I mean, we've got
way too many cards.
Way too many cards, huh? Here's a Reggie White Topps All-Pro. I mean, we're not even really going through. Here's a William Refrigerator Perry. Yeah, here's an Eric Dickerson. I mean, these are awesome cards. There's another Ron Rivera. I mean, what's interesting is, yeah, I mean, what's interesting is a lot of these cards. Let's see. I mean, we'll go through. I'll have to go through and see what the rookies are, and maybe once I have these organized, we'll do a highlight video of each of these. But as you can see, I mean, there's a Henry Ellard. Man, let's see who else we got here. My guess is, yeah. See, here's like, I'm looking for some rookie cards. Beck, I see a Raider coming up. Jim Plunkett, baby. Probably the best Raiders quarterback of all time. We'll keep that one. Probably better than Derek Carr, but maybe not by the time it's all said and done now that he's got Antonio Brown. Yeah, there he is, Roger Craig. I mean, we'll have to go through and look and see what some of the rookies from this set are. Here's a Ronnie Lott. Ronnie Lott had played for a few years by then. Look at, here's some more of those starting lineup cards from way back in the day. But we won't go through every one of these, but I'm just going to let you know that, I mean, there are so many football cards. Then it looks like we're going all the way back. I mean, here's 1984. Frank Lewis, John Swain. Now we're back on these 87s. I mean, these are going kind of all over the place. So they're not in the easiest condition. There's an Eric Dickerson. Look at this card, Beck. Topps All-Pro, Eric Dickerson. 5th year. Look at those glasses. These are just neat cards. Eric Dickerson was a great player growing up. So, anyways, we will go through. Here's what we'll do. So we're not spending all this time on this. We will go through, because I have a whole nother stack of these right here. Look at this. Bill Kilmer. What is this? This is from 19... I don't even know. It looks like this is probably from like 1968. It's a little beat up, but there are just tons and tons of old cards. I think here's a Boomer Esiason. I mean, there are just tons and tons and tons of old cards. All right, Beck. So we'll go through these, and once we go through them, here, look at this. Look at this. I keep saying this, and I keep finding stuff. Like, look at, here we go. Sonny Jurgensen. There's one of those tiny cards again. There's the Wade Boggs tiny card. It doesn't even give, like, it just says printed in USA. So I have no idea, but it does say 1967. So here's a Sonny Jurgensen. I think this is a 1968 Washington Redskins quarterback. Here is Gerald Irons. I I mean, some of these cards are old, and I'll be honest, they're kind of beat up. But Doug Deacon, let's see what some of these are through here. There's another Doug Deacon. Ron Bolton. A lot of Browns cards. It looks like Grandpa must have had some Browns cards from back in the day. Clarence Scott. Here's another Clarence Scott. This looks like 1984. Nope, this is 1982. Kind of, look at that. Clarence Scott. Ernie Kellerman. I mean, this is, what year is this? 1971.
Alex playing soccer.
No, here's Uncle Alex. I don't know that actually. Yep, this is. Here's Uncle Alex's sportsy soccer card. This is amazing. So Keith, right? You found more of those. So we have a bunch of cards. We're going to go through a lot of these because this is going to take some time. It looks like there's some Browns. But here, look at this. A Fred Biletnikoff from 1972. The treasure trove of football cards that we have just found are unbelievable. Okay, so let's pull out this next binder. Let's see. Oh boy, here we go. So I'm going to go like this again. And we have, here we go, a Jim Abbott rookie card. Carney Lansford. There's Chuck Finley. So this is 89. It looks like he's got his 89 cards in here. Jim Aducci. Yeah, these are all 89 tops. And Don Russ. So here's his 89 collection. So he sorted them by, what's this little tiny card? Lenny Dykstra. These little cards are weird. Yeah, so it looks like what he did, but it's funny because he's got 88 Don Russ and mixing them with 90, 89 Don Russ. But there's a Doc Gooden, Darryl Strawberry, lots of Darryl Strawberries. Benito Santiago, that's a rookie card. There's a Kurt Schilling, 89. I'm curious, I don't think this is a Kurt Schilling. If I'm not mistaken, this right here is a Kurt Schilling rookie card. He was a great pitcher. He has kind of gone weird ever since retiring, or a lot of people think he's gone weird. A lot of people probably agree with some of the stuff he talks about politically, but a lot of people think, here's a Tony Gwynn, 1984. Look at this.
And there's binders of the school book.
This is a 84. Is this a Tony Gwynn? I don't know if this is a rookie card, but let's pull this guy out. Let's see here. We've got Padres. This isn't his rookie card because he had the at-bats. What's interesting is, look at that. And just had the audacity to send Tony Gwynn back to the minors. This card also is a little creased, but as a kid, here, Beck, you want to hold that? So I can put this back in here. This is actually a really kind of neat old card. So let's see. He might have some other stuff. We'll flip through this. Andy Bennis, talk about a prospect I've missed. Let's see. Doug Drabeck. There's a Bobby Bonilla. Let's see if he's got it. There's Sabo. There's a Clemens. Let's see. There's Wade Boggs. Wow. I mean, just a ton of neat stuff. Alan Trammell. Let's see, we've got Gagne, Ozzie Guillen. Ended up being a really good coach for years and years. Here's your Yankees. You've got a Dave Winfield, Ken Phelps. Let's see, what else has he got in here? Oh, all right, let me see. What is this? Here is a Tough Stuff Complete Sports Price Guide publication from July 1991. It went for $3.95. It's got Roger Clemens on the Red Sox. And as you can see, they had a ton of ads. I mean, and you would go in here and you would look up. See here, you would look up hockey cards. So they had it separated out. I always had Beckett. Tough Stuff must have been. I always read Beckett. But as you can see here, it looks like, yeah, see, here's your baseball cards. Let's just see what these cards were going for back in the day. And, I mean, as you can kind of read some of this stuff, none of these cards are worth as much as they say they are. But, like, for example, if we go to the 1986 Topps Traded, let's see, for $8, Will Clark. I don't think it's worth that much anymore. What's interesting is they only show like certain cards, and ones that, I mean, the 86 Topps Traded would have had, if I'm not mistaken, that would have had the Bo Jackson, which is probably the most. That's wild. This tells you how overinflated cards were back in the day. Let's see, do they have, this won't go to 92, so this won't have the Bowman 92, but man, if it did. Let's see, we can probably go to 89 Upper Deck, though. And let's see if they've got 89 Upper Deck. And the Ken Griffey Jr., here it is. The Ken Griffey Jr. was $40, and its percentage change was 33%. And this was in 1991. Here's the Dale Murphy photo reversed. I don't know if you can see that, but it's right here. $75. So anyways, so that's that. Let's see. Was that okay? So the only other box that we kind of really haven't gone through is this little one. And it's probably got, let's see, we'll just kind of go through here real quick.
That's the one that had Alex in it.
So this is, what do we got here? Keith Boyer, 89 checklist. I mean, I don't think there's going to be, this looks like more stuff that well, I see a Darryl Strawberry. Actually, some of these cards are, surprisingly, there's not a lot of people collected a lot of this stuff. What are these? These are baseball legends. Here's a Phil Rizzuto, baseball legends. I don't know what year these were printed, but they were printed by Pacific Trading Cards, Inc. We'll have to look that up. And then we've got, let's see, so here's a Darryl Strawberry post, a Jose Canseco. We've got a Mike Scott. We've got a bug, of course. Every little boy had to have a bug, and every little boy has a bunch of checklist cards if they were born around the time I was. So this looks like more of these little Spring Training Fever, more of these little weird Pacific. We're going to have to look those up. Some more postcards. We've got Robin Yount. These are in really good condition, by the way. I mean, we're talking, well, this one's a little beat up. The Robin Yount is. But, like, here's the Don Mattingly. It's got a little bit of a thing on it, but I think that's actually just, I think that would come right off. Yeah. So we've got the Don Mattingly, Ryan Sandberg. So a bunch of what year were these? Post. These would have been 1990. So these probably aren't worth too much, but kind of a neat little, you would have gotten baseball cards with your cereal box. It's kind of neat. So we'll put these over here. Look at this mess we've made. So we have, our thing fell down.
It's a ginormous mess.
It is a ginormous mess. And now, let's see, what else do we have in here? This looks like just old, this might even be like homework and stuff. And then there also is the other pennant that was with that sweet 1976 pennant of the Chicago Bulls. Let's see if I can show that to you. So if you were a kid in the 90s and you didn't grow up on the West Coast rooting for the Lakers, you were probably a Bulls fan. So anyways, so it looks to me like as we kind of go through all these cards, the football cards were the real find here. Like, for example, Ronnie Lott. from 1983. Some of these football cards are probably worth something, especially with how old they are and the fact that they're football cards. So we'll look through these, and next video we'll do after I've looked through these is kind of say, hey, we looked these up and here's how much they are kind of going for on eBay or whatever else. But if you like this video, Beck, what should people do if they like this video?
Subscribe, comment, or like.
And this is what my brother-in-law and Beck's uncle and Penny's uncle. Here's that. By the way, here collected when he was a kid, and this was kind of his old collection. So this is probably the neatest thing, and it's in fairly decent condition. So that is the Cincinnati Reds World Champions, and this is my favorite part. It's got them all listed. I mean, and this thing is in good condition. I mean, fairly decent condition. There's no holes on the where it was hung. I don't think. Yeah, there's one hole right there, but that's a pretty two maybe. That's a pretty minor hole. This might have some nostalgic value for a Reds fan. And then we've got all these football cards we'll go through. So anyways, we hope you enjoyed this video. We'll post more like this in the future as we get some stuff. And until then, you have a good night.